This video is sponsored by EA. The Battlefield 5 open beta is in full swing now, and no doubt most of you watching this video are already getting stuck into the action. But I've noticed a lot of conversation surrounding the action and the combat in the game at the moment, and how the entire flow is very different to previous titles, and it's harder to get used to. You are absolutely right. You cannot play Battlefield 5 like you did previous Battlefield games. In this video, I'm going to hand you guys some tips and tricks to turn some of your more frustrating rounds into entertaining ones. If you haven't got yourself involved in the beta yet, there's a link down in the description that will help you download it and get yourself started. The first tip I'm going to give you is quite an obvious one. Get used to the squad system. Yes, it's a little bit broken right now, and it's hard to play with your actual friends, but treat the players in your squad as if they're your friends instead. Everyone in that squad can revive each other, and as much as I've seen people complain that no one revives in this game, certainly during rounds of Conquest that I've been playing on Rotterdam, people do revive you if it's safe to do so. The support players in the squad, they can dole out ammo like there's no tomorrow, and they're needed to do that because of the attrition system in the game. If you are the support player, drop it if you've got it. The medic can hand out pouches which can be applied at any point if you're carrying one on your soldier, and the scout has a spotting gadget which introduces some 3D spotting, making it much easier to pick out targets at longer ranges. The dynamic squad system is there to be used to your advantage, so make sure you use it. Tip number 2 concerns grenades. Now, I've seen quite a few people mention that they feel grenades are tremendously weak in Battlefield 5, and overall I'd have to say that you are right. In comparison to Battlefield 1 and previous Battlefield titles, grenades are very weak indeed. But their use case has seen a big shift. No longer are they the lethal objects that you throw to kill other players. They've been shifted into the tactical category, and they stand as tools to flush enemies out of different locations. Now, the incendiary grenade, that was the bane of every infantry player's existence in Battlefield 1, now simply tickles players in Battlefield 5. But you need to change how you think about them. Rather than these grenades lighting up players like the Human Torch, you lob the grenade into a place that you know an enemy is hiding, and it hits them, they run out looking to try and stop that damage, and bam, you take them out with your primary weapon. Tactical instead of lethal. Standard frag grenades work the same way, but they do possess quite a bit more power, and you can finish players off if they're not quick enough to move, or if they've got lower health already. But rather than expecting the grenade to do the work for you, use it as a tool to turn the engagement in your favour, and then finish the player off with your weapon instead. Set yourself up in a good position, throw the nade, wait for the enemy to make their move, and then end their life. The next tip concerns the attrition mechanic. This is love and hate in Battlefield 5 at the moment, but regardless of your opinion of it, it is here to stay. DICE wants players to be more mindful of their current ammo count and their health as well, so you need to adapt to the new system because, let's face it, it's not going to change all that much. It is worth noting, however, that DICE are looking to tweak the attrition system overall for the launch of the game, but the basic points still stand. If you want plenty of ammo as backup, start making routes around the maps that include these ammo stations. These are the easiest way to top yourself right back up before moving off to a new location, where you're sure to encounter a few enemies. You can also obtain ammunition from fallen enemies, but this amount is extremely small, and it's unlikely to even fill half a magazine. Learn the ammo station points on the maps, and visit them when it's natural to do so. Leaving the safety of other team or squad mates isn't advisable. If you get shot out in the open, no one's coming to revive you in Battlefield 5. The same can be said for the healing stations. These can top you back up to 100 health in absolutely no time at all, and provide you with an extra health pouch, which can be applied at any point when you're below 100 health later on in your life. Learn the locations, make routes towards them when it's natural, and you'll find yourself staying alive longer and elongating gunfights if you take damage. The next tip for you concerns positioning and combat scenarios. I've been guilty of failing to understand my position plenty of times in this open beta, but with each failure, I learn more and more each time. With the gunplay in Battlefield 5 being so much more lethal, especially when that gun is in the hands of somebody who understands the weapon and its recoil pattern, you've really got to play the angles and make sure you're covering yourself all of the time. Just don't run out into open space or don't run through that doorway without checking your angles. As you move towards that open space, see if everything's clear and then make your move. With the reduced visibility of players due to no 3D spotting in the game, you've really got to keep your eyes peeled, and those 2 or 3 seconds of checking your surroundings can ensure you stay alive quite a lot longer. Now, when it comes to combat, don't feel like you have to engage every single player you see. It might feel unnatural to back out of a gunfight, or even not engage with an enemy who hasn't seen you, but if you're not confident in your positioning, just don't take the fight. You've got to consider other variables at play here. Is there another enemy nearby running with that player that you've spotted? Do I have the ammunition to take this player down nice and quickly so I don't attract attention? Do I have good health to survive a few hits? Am I in sufficient cover? Or do I have a place to take cover if I need to during a gunfight? All of that comes into play in Battlefield 5. And once you start making these little checks, they'll become more and more natural to do, even without thinking about it. Another thing, don't rush out to a dead player's body the moment you kill them. You could be left extremely exposed, and with the squad dependency in this game, the likelihood is that the player that you just killed has a squad mate nearby who's going to come out and mop you up. Next up, I've got a non-gameplay tip for you. Gun upgrades. I've given my feedback on these as they currently stand, but the system is there for you to use, and I feel that not a lot of people are taking advantage of it. As you use a weapon and you rank it up, you'll unlock more gun upgrades, and these can be found by heading into your company from the main menu, choosing a class, selecting the weapon that you want to upgrade, and then clicking the Upgrades button. Here, you'll be able to spend your grind currency, that's shown in the top right-hand corner, on different upgrades for the gun to improve it from its base statistics. The only way to obtain grind currency is by playing the game and completing different challenges. Now, depending on the path you take through the upgrade tree, that will depend on what you can and cannot apply to the gun, but anything you apply improves the weapon somewhat. So use the trees and apply the upgrades that you want. As a side note, if you're struggling to unlock these gun upgrades because you don't have enough grind currency, go back to the main menu, go into the assignments menu, and select a few of those and populate the boxes in front of you. Those will then be tracked in-game, and you can start to earn credits for doing those challenges. A couple of small tips to wrap up the video. First of all, fortifications. Build them when you're not in trouble. The amount of times a sandbag wall or a clump of broken wood has saved me from taking hits in Battlefield 5 is probably now in the hundreds. If you're pushing through more open areas and you happen to come to a stop, try to extend the cover that you have by building a fortification position. It might give you a better angle on the enemy, or it may simply provide you and your team or your squad more room to take cover before moving off again. And lastly, headshots. They're insanely powerful in Battlefield 5, and at every opportunity, you should be trying to land them. Whether you're at close range with the medic class and an SMG, medium range with an assault rifle with the assault class, or an LMG with the support class, or trying to drop enemies at long range with your bolt action rifle, then aim for the head as much as you can. This will drastically shorten the time to kill an enemy, and it will save you ammo in the process, so it's a win-win. Now, there are plenty of other things within the Battlefield 5 open beta that you will need to get used to. You're going to need to learn these things and master them so that you feel confident during gameplay, but these tips should help you stay alive longer in Battlefield 5 and help improve some of those rounds that just don't seem to go right sometimes. Battlefield 5 has a learning curve to it, but if you start now during the open beta, once the full game launches in November, things should become much more normal, much faster. Thank you very much for watching today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you've got notifications switched on so you don't miss any of my future Battlefield 5 videos. And if you've got any tips of your own for the community, leave those down in the comments. You could be helping somebody out and not even know it. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.